Here, y'all. Get in here, y'all. Yes. Hi, family. I hope I'm in the right chat. The live chat. Get in here, y'all. Get in here, y'all. They want me to create a highlight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know that it is Friday. I like to say Friday. It's Friday. I feel like I'm in the right one. They're doing a few things to make my chat not be as where I want it to be, y'all. They don't want to see me be great. I get it. It's okay. I got all kinds of platforms, y'all. Just so you know, I just thought I'd grace the wide tube community with a little bit of this info. But y'all gonna be acting funny, as they used to say back in the day. If you're gonna be acting funny, I'm gonna have to do something different, y'all. And then keep on continuing to be involved with y'all too. If it's gonna be funny like that. But either way, let me see. Let me see if I can copy the link. Get in here, y'all. It's a great time to be alive and well, everybody. Get in here, get in here, get in here. We're doing the Starry Eye tutorial with the Scry navigation wheel and the circle of life, which is more than just a catchy tune on the motion picture caricatures. It's more than a catchy tune. It has to do with divine astrological. We want to say science, y'all. Let's call it science. Let's call it what it is. It's a science. So, I love the fact that we got someone. I know it's Friday, y'all. It's a laid back Friday. Come on, y'all. Get in here. Get in here. Welcome, welcome. I want to get you consecrated. Oh, here we go. People are coming in. Come on in. Get in here, y'all. Get in here, y'all. It's High Priestess Maven. I want to talk about. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the love. I got my love going too, y'all. Hi. Hi, y'all. I hope everyone's well. We're doing the Scry navigation wheel and the circle of life, divine cosmic astrology, y'all. I mean, I want to make it fun for you all. So I think that thank you for coming to the live. I know it's Friday, and I must go ahead and give you all the honor. Everybody who's coming, I give you honor. I do. I don't take this lightly. I want to make sure that I'm honoring those who come by. Hi. Hi. Shout out where y'all from when you come in. Shout out where you're from. I'm up here in the Midwest, y'all. About 3.5 hours outside of Chicago. Don't give up. I love it. I love that. Don't give up. Can you hear me well? Tell me if you can hear me well. I love when y'all say don't give up. We need to make that a theme because there's so much stuff going on. Oh, I love it. Here we go. I'm ready to give it back now. Woo-hoo. Y'all send love, I'm going to send love back. How about that? How about that, y'all? Get this light out my face. There we go. So, don't give up. So, you know what? I need some interaction, y'all. I need y'all hype me up. Hype me up. I need some interaction. I want to hear why we say don't give up. Don't give up. I don't say the handles anymore here, y'all. I'd rather say people, where you from? Because I had that little cyber thing going with me. So I was like, I don't really want to say my handle per se on here. Although it's High Priestess Maven, HP Maven. But I don't want to say your handle. Do people know what handle mean? I feel like I'm showing my age when I say handle. Handle it. Well, can I share with y'all what handle is, and then we're gonna get into this Scry navigation wheel. Because I said today I'm not gonna play around. I want to go ahead and do what I got to do because I've been working on this equipment and all that good stuff, and I got it together now, y'all. I got my together, my ish. So, but I want to say what handle came from. I love it. Handle came from Let's go. You got this. Oh, look at this. Hey. I love it. I love it. I got this. Yeah, we got this. We got this because I like participatory things, y'all. I'm one of those people. So you may or may not have it. Some people who do have it. Ooh, I'm knocking over everything. You may or may not have it yet, but your Scry navigation wheel. I want to show you what it looks like. Excuse me, let me put this all together. But the handle comes for back in the day when let me say this first. I don't want to be jumping all over subjects, but and I'm gonna get to the Scry navigation wheel. We're gonna scribe with our little eye. Yes, this is what I've been waiting on right here, y'all. It's old school style too. I didn't digitize it. I made it old school style, y'all. See, I come from the old school, so I'm gonna show y'all some old school stuff, and then we're gonna digitize it later on. How about that? But the handle was when we were like when they were. Anybody know about the CB? Who out here in the Gen? They call it the Gen X, but the Gen 10. Who's the Gen X, Gen 10 folk out here? Anybody? Anybody from Generation X, Gen 10? You don't have to be in order to be here, but I'm just saying. I see people on the left. But anyway, let's just say this. Gen 10. I say Gen 10 because I'm not gonna be X'd out of nothing. I don't like saying Generation X, y'all. I mean, I'm always the rebel. I'm always the one going against the grain. I don't want to be a Gen X. I don't want to be X'd out of nothing. Y'all, I'm like that. I'm too nosy to be X'd out of anything, y'all. But when back when I was more in my teen years, like we had the handle was when we had the CB, communication broadcast, and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. I haven't looked this up in years, but CB, and you'll be on there, break 19, this is so and so, y'all. This was before we had cell phones that was publicly shared. But anyway, before the populace had cell phones, and we used to be on that CB radio. Y'all know about that? And then they say, what's your handle? What's your handle? That means what's the name you go by? So when we say handle, I don't know if anybody knows about that, but the handle is when you're on the CB radio. I'm sorry, I don't mind sharing my age, and well, not sharing my age necessarily. I'll tell you what year I was born in. You got to do the math. But anyway, I don't want to say handle. So when I say handle, I don't want to say who I'm seeing on here, although it's a live chat. A lot of people have an alias anyway. They don't even show their real name or whatever, and that's okay. But either way, I'm not gonna say handles. I will shout out what people are from. So if you come in, go ahead, put a like. We got likes up there. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and do this. First of all, I do not like to share anything spiritual, and yes, I did say it, and I already have my disclaimer on my video, without doing a consecration. I love to have fun, but when I get into servicing within the divine cosmic realm, I like to give reverence. We can have fun too. We can have a little laughter with it, but at the same time, I want people to know that we're going to have to shift a little bit and get into your joy, love, and bliss. It's honestly about that. I know that people make it seem spooky pooky when we're doing things that have to do with anything divinely inspired, divine cosmic astrology, especially. I want to make sure that we know that this is not to be scary or spooky pooky. So I have some visuals for you. Now, mind you, I come from the old school. I could have digitized this, and it is digitized, but I want to start off with old school paper. I hope y'all see that. See it well. It's digitized. And I might need to turn it around just so you can see, because I like to see the comments. But it's digitized, and this is the Scry navigation wheel, and I'm going to show y'all in just a second how we can use this. We can use it digitally as well as just by hands-on. So this is a Scry navigation wheel. And again, you'll see that the title of this particular live chat is Starry Eye. So we're working with the Starry Eye spiritual work in here. All right. And it has to do with divine astrology. All right. So I scry with my little eye. And when we're talking about little eye, we're really talking about the third eye. And you'll see the representation within astrology a lot of times where there's an eye involved. Well, of course, we have to see the stars. And when we say scry, this is a Scry navigation wheel. Scry, notice how scry and sky rhyme. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But I know that scrying has to do with looking intently at something and getting a message out of it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. We use mathematics. We use also spiritual intelligence as well. and connection. Why y'all keep running off when I say stuff like that? It's all good. It's all good. I'm serious. I know it's going to take some time. But once you find out that this is not to be feared, let me see. Let's go. You got this. I love that. So either way, I scry with my little eye. So here we have this representation of what is called. Now, can anyone put in the chat what this is called when we're talking about divine astrology? Can you see it well? Because I got my light on it. Let me turn the light that way for just a sec. Can anyone tell me? I can see it looks like a ship wheel, doesn't it? A ship navigational wheel. That's one thing we can say. Okay, maritime navigation wheel. Doesn't it look like that? So we'll learn what this is used for, but I want to see if anyone can put in the chat what they feel this is used for within divine cosmic astrology. This is what this is about, y'all. This is what this live is about. I scry with my little eye. Scry as in it rhymes with sky. Okay. This is called the wheel, the circle of life. We call it this. That's actually more of an old school word for it. The circle of life. And I'll share with you why it's called the circle of life. But first, I want you to think about divine astrology and what you know about astrology, what you've been allowed to know about astrology, okay? What you've been allowed to know about astrology. And it's might be some things that's missing, but we're going to clear all that up, right? Most of it's going to be cleared up. Now, of course, I must say, from the level of a high priestess, I have went all the way in this knowledge. I know front and back and front, but I have put this into a simple, very simple and easy to use and fun as well manual called the Rose Cross Matrix Sacred Soul Revival Manual. And it's going to allow you to do the basics with this. And the basics, of course, have to do with the divine astrological symbols. And again, I come from old school, so my old school knowledge, we use a lot of hands-on stuff, y'all. So let me go ahead and get out something to show you this. So this is it. You can actually download this. You'll have a link below here so that you can go ahead and download this. And then you'll be able to fill in this information as I share it, okay? So let's go to this part of it and talk about. So we just went over the Scry navigation wheel. Now let's go over some fun stuff. And again, I know I can digitize this, but I want to teach it old school like I learned it a long time ago as a high priestess, okay? And of course, this is not an initiation or any type of, initiation or any type of recruitment. It has nothing to do with that. This is actually just a way for us to touch base when it comes to learning a science. And it is a science, and they might call it a pseudoscience, but divine astrology is not a pseudoscience. It's actually an ancient science. I like to put it that way because it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. All right. So, well, how do you know that? Well, first of all, if you say that the ancient text that we use, if you say that that's 2,000 years, well, that's thousands and thousands. I said 2,000 and thousands, so that must be it, right? So either way, astrology, divine astrology, as we mentioned it, it's not new, of course, and it's not a pseudoscience. It is a science from ancient times. They call it astrology now, but they don't use spiritual aspects of it. They just use physical placement versus the essence of the divine astrology symbols, okay? So let me get into what I was able to do so that we can make this really as basic and fun as possible. And you might have saw this in our community chat where we have these for the spring season. And not just, this is for the spring season, not just one day, y'all, what we call it a star or Easter or Esther, as in the ancient text. This is actually from the practices of a sacred sisterhood, okay? A sacred sisterhood. Our sisterhood was called the Rosy Cross Sisterhood, and cross having to do with the crossroads and also the cross when it comes to the sky cross, right? Which is a cross that comes along in a Scry navigation wheel. So we're linking this all together, right? So this is a cross here. This is considered the cross. And you'll see that it has the directionals of north, south, east, and west. This is a science that is kind of scattered all over the place, but we're working to bring it home. All right. So the reason why we use this, of course, we know that there's 12. Many of us who are part of divine astrology, we know that there's 12 divine astrological symbols, and I'm going to share with you in just a moment. And we have these kind of set up according to how they run throughout the 12 months, okay, or we call months as well. So as the sun and the moon cycles 12 times, 12 months on a the calendar, and we also have 12 divine astrological signs, starting with Aries or Aries, okay? You'll see the symbol there as well. So this is what we use. And of course, we have the star on the back. And a star, it might have been vilified, but a star is just a star in the sky. Star lets you know that someone is an astrologer or an astronomer in the work that we do, okay? That's what it always meant. It may have taken on a spooky pooky connotation as time has gone on, but it's nothing but a star. So I don't know who's afraid of stars. I'm not afraid of stars. I think they're beautiful. But if you put them in certain contexts, I guess you could be afraid of them. All right, so we're going to go through the 12 divine astrological signs, starting with, and we're using the eggs, because eggs is springtime, and it's spring, and love is in the air, y'all. That's why I have my heart with me. I'm into the love thing, y'all. I love love. Can I say that? I love love. So the springtime, I mean, it's not just one day for us in our practice. I mean, every day is a day to celebrate the mother, the father, for that matter. But in the sacred sisterhood, when we learn these things in our initiations and such, then we learn we learn in this manner. This is old school. We had computers back in the day, y'all, but it's also, we did a lot of hands-on things. And that's why I want to continue to show things that I learned with. And as you move forward, you learn about divine astrology, and I share with you how I learned it through things as simple as what looks like a navigation wheel for a ship, but this is a Scry navigation wheel for the scrying in the sky with your little eye, meaning your third eye, which is actually your intuition. It might also be called the mind's eye. So 12 months, 12 moons, 12 divine astrological signs, right, that actually follow along on this wheel. So we had a live chat the other day, and I was digitizing it. But today, we're going to go old school. We're going to put some planets in here. Now, mind you, look at this. This is bare. This is how it will come when you actually go and download it with the link. And then we're going to do the workshop. So we get into the workshop. And then these little circles here, let me show you what these are. See how I have that represents Saturn? And it's going to be turned around because I'm doing the selfie one because I want to be able to monitor. But it'll make more sense later on, right? So what I have here are these stickers. I'm going old school. I know it can be digitized, y'all, but these little stickers, there's 24 sheets. And then we have 1,008, okay, 24 sheets in here, 42 stickers per sheet. So this is good for this particular divine astrology hack here, okay, as we use the stickers. Now, mind you, I'm not the best artist, but I know how to make an S at least. And then, of course, we have the sheet on, okay. This is another key. We just stick the stickers right on there, wherever the placement is. Some people might have their actual birth chart. We're going to get into the birth chart as well at a later date. But you literally take these stickers, do your best, as best you can, artwork, and you just stick it right there. I don't know who recognizes that symbol. Anybody recognize that symbol? You can put it in the chat. That is Mercury. So this is just a way to actually place your astrological signs as well as the planets. You can also do constellations in here. And I like this as either a hands-on or digitized. We're not going to do digitized at this time. We have a workshop that we're scheduling for that. But right now, we're just going to go old school, natural, as I'm bringing this out. A lot of this stuff, these type of sciences, and again, it's a science. A lot of these sciences were not widely advised or used. This particular symbol is to represent North Node or South Node. Okay. The nodes, we can get into that as well in the workshop. And there's also downloads you can do from the website. When I scribe with my little eye. But when I have my Scry navigation wheel and I use these labels and I actually print them out, I will actually know, y'all get this, I'll know what my placement is for the day, the hour. I'll do my birth chart on here, and I recommend that for other people too. Divine Cosmic Astrology. Right? So this can know thyself as sacred soul. This is a picture of the soul's journey, from day one, connecting to your own divine cosmic signature, birth signature, through what is called a birth chart. It's also called, y'all ready? Dun, dun, dun. It's called a natal chart as well, as in nativity. Where do we know that from, y'all? Anyone who is into ancient texts, what we know is the Bi works. Nativity is actually a birth chart. So when we talk about the circle of animals, here we go with the circle of life again. The circle of animals in ancient text is referring to a natal chart of whomever. And I know we have a particular prophet that we follow, that some call Yeshua, some say Jesus. Okay, Jesus. But in essence, it's a natal chart, and it could be for anyone. So the circle of animals, some people use zodiacal. I just use astrological because we use the symbols. We sometimes go between the animals as well, but I like to use the actual symbol. So I call it the astrological, divine astrological chart because of the astrology symbols. Or seals. They're also called seals. They're called, you can also call them sigils as well. It's just a symbol. A seal is what they use in the ancient text, or a symbol to represent these particular astrological symbols, which are called signs as well. And then also your planets and your stars of the constellations as well. And of course, the sun and the moon. So this is pretty easy. If you have your labels, sometimes, as I was going to mention, I prepare mine before. Like if I go out and I'm going to be doing let's just say I'm going to be scrying. It's late, dark. I try to find a place that does not have the pollution from the lights of the city. I go far, far out, and I get my divine astrological symbols already printed out. I look at my chart, whether it be for the day or the week or even the hour, and then that way I'm underneath the stars. And then I'm able to imprint my mind, my essence, my soul essence with the strategy for my life at a given time. All right. So this is actually how you do it. Astrology is more than just love and money too, y'all. This is 12 different stations. They're called stations because they stay stationary. As you can see, these pie pieces, they look like pie pieces. These are called the houses of divine astrology. There's 12 of them. And there's placement. And then what does not stay stationary, of course, are the sun, the moon, the stars, the constellations, and the planets. That does not stay stationary. Only thing that stays stationary is the pie pieces here, which represent the houses, the 12 houses of divine astrology. Okay, the 12 houses. Right. Now I know there's different apps that you can use to get this information, but I learned it hands-on as a high priestess, and I feel like everyone should tap into their high priest and high priestess. You don't have to be going out and work for people, doing exorcisms and such, like someone who's in that position or office, who have taken an office like myself. But just so you'll have your own knowledge, that's why we want to bring everybody up to speed, so that you can privatize this on your life and your next move and your strategies. Believe it or not, if you put this into an app, which is nothing wrong with apps, I believe in apps too. But I'm just saying, if you put this into an app and you had some particular strategy that you were working on, It's I don't know. It's 50-50 that someone could kind of get it and know what you're going to do next, unless they can read your mind. They don't know what you're going to do. They'll just have the information. But in essence, this can tell a lot of things about a person just by having their divine astrology tapped into and mapped out on a Scry navigation wheel. Okay. So this is available to download so that you can do this without digitization. You can download it and then get your symbols for the day. We'll go over how to do that at another time, where the placements are, because everyone has their own divine astrological map of their destiny and purpose. So you tie into that through your natal chart, which is called nativity. Which fun fact, the word nativity, it's used in ancient texts for the prophet that we know as Yeshua. But the word nativity, meaning a natal chart, which is a mapping of the sky on the night or day when you were born. It's a mapping where all the placements of the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets of the constellation, stars of the constellations rather than the planets, all that is mapped out on is a snapshot when we are born, right? When we are born. But the nativity that we read about within the ancient texts for the prophet known as Yeshua is just that. They say a circle of animals because they were using astrological symbols like the lamb and the ram and the Leo lion, things like that. That's more of a considered to be zodiacal, the wheel of animals. I use the astrological symbols because I'm just into the symbols. I love the animals too, but I like the symbols, right? But this will tell you certain information, the essence of self. Now let's talk about the difference between astrology and astronomy, okay? Astrology and astronomy. I'm still going to hold this up while I'm doing this, talking. Astrology and astronomy mean similar things, but they're different. Astrology is the essence of self. It's the symbolism and the makeup of your essence of a soul print as well. A soul is your feelings. A soul is what actually comes with you when you come into this world. It helps you with your mapping out of your life in and of itself. It gives you the feelings when you're moving through life on what you should do, maybe what you shouldn't do. And sometimes we don't get it right, but we just keep on moving forward. And we learn, hopefully. And if not, it keeps coming back and you'll learn it eventually. You see how this circle is, this wheel? That's why lessons keep coming back. And they talk about the déjà vu. Okay? It means déjà vu, the old world language is the God view is what it really means. Meaning how you see it. It's God's view. That's what déjà vu is, a whole other language, the old world. I like to call it old world language. I know the name of it, but I'm kind of veering away these days of certain region words and names, monikers, things like that, because it's, we're just trying to bare our soul and get information, right? So veering away from that. But the word déjà vu, many of us know that just means that you've seen this before. But really what it means is in the original language is that it means it's looking at the God view, seeing something again, having a lesson again, because we believe in the circle and many circles, not just one circle. Circles of life are many different circles. You have cycles as well, the cycles of life. So this is how you read your own cycle of life. And people are wondering, why am I here? What is a wandering soul? Kind of like Dorothy, the one known as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. How many people know she was a wandering soul? She was wandering. She didn't know what was next, where she should be, how she should be. And she was lost. She wasn't home. Home is where the heart is. So she was detached from her heart and her home. Her soul was just wandering. So we got these concentric circles like this. Concentrics meaning just going all through our lives. Circle here, circle there. When you're born, when you transition, when you're moving forward, living, joy, love, bliss. When you meet the one that you find is your twin flame or just your soul mate. The soul finding itself has to do with circles upon circles of experiences and cycles of life. It's more than just a catchy tune. The circle of life is about this particular circle that has to do with your scrying with your little eye and knowing the placement of the symbolism. Okay, so this is something that can help, especially for such a time as this. It's a great time to be alive and well, in my opinion, but it's also a time that we must be reflective and have some type of clue and knowledge about who we are and what we should do while we're here, who we're supposed to be, what our purpose is, especially now. Because if you don't know your purpose, people will definitely step in there and tell you, oh, you should be doing this. Come here. You're talking to yourself. Why are you talking to yourself? Talk to me. I can tell you whatever you need to know. Interesting. But either way, I digress. So let's get into the symbols, okay? So we have the Scry navigation wheel. Okay. One tidbit of information I'd like to say is that when I say we, I'm talking about the northern hemisphere on the planet, the globe. Northern hemisphere, and there's a southern hemisphere, top and the bottom. Okay, and the Earth rotates on its axis, and then it shifts from day to night, as we know it. Meaning light is day and night is dark. So that means the sun will come out in the day, and the sun is still there, but it will darken, and then we'll have the moon more visible at night. Okay, so we're doing this circle, the circle of life, in cycles and seasons, right? So when we talk about the northern hemisphere, when we want to chart our course, we have to consider looking at the eastern direction for where the sun would rise. So we're going to face south. And if I can put it this way, you see south is this way. You see that? Okay, south is that way. So just picture yourself standing facing south. And then, of course, you'll see east is that way. So in the northern hemisphere, this is the way we look in order to make a note of and reference where the sun will be rising. And that is how the stations within the divine astrological wheel on the Scry navigation wheel, circle of life, that is how the zodiacal, and this, we're not using animals, I apologize, astrological symbols, also zodiacal, because if someone doesn't have that question, I'm glad I said that. Zodiac has to do more with the animals, okay? Like when you come in here, and the first one is Aries, which is associated with the ram. That's for another day. I wanted to stick with symbols because we have these handy dandy little labels to represent the symbols. Okay, we don't have any animal symbols. I have some, but I want to keep it simple moving forward to begin with. So those of us who are in the northern hemisphere on the globe, planet, you're going to be looking south when you're considering your eastern rising of the sun. And that's where the stations are going to place you to know and read the day and the energy of the day and what is best for you based on your natal chart as well. Okay, so when you were born, the snapshot of the sky and the snapshot of where the sun was, the moon, the planets, and the stars of the constellations. Okay, where was that when you were born? And then that particular intonation of the soul print, which is similar to a blueprint. The soul print is made at that time. A snapshot. Just picture a camera going off. You come into the world. You crown, as they say, through the womb gateway, the portal. Just picture this as a portal right in the middle. 10 centimeters. You have to be 10 centimeters in order to deliver that baby's head out. Okay. So you crown. That's even the crown of the head. See it? Y'all see how I'm doing this? The crown of the head comes out. Right? And here we have south. Where is your east? Here. And this is where the first station, which would be here, that's number 1. That's the Aries, which is head. That represents the head. And we'll get more into that later on. But the head is here. And then it goes up to this right above east. That's the rising. So your rising sun. Within the first 10 degrees. Now, this is a 90 degree angle in a 360 degree circle. That is the divine astrological measurement. That's how those are the numbers, 360. And I know you've heard 360 many times. You had to have heard 360. If you haven't, well, 360 degrees is what it is. And degrees just is a placement. It's measurement. Right? Within it's the standard form of measurement for astrological symbols in this case, in this representation. Okay, so imagine the head crowning. Imagine this circle. It's shaped differently, but we're using a circle today. Of course, when you think about the womb gateway, it's a gateway. You're coming in, y'all. Right? That head's going to crown. It's called crowning. And then you come out, and then the sky, snapshot. Now, this is not a natal chart, of course, by any stretch of the imagination, because you'd have to consider all of the planets, the sun, the moon, the stars. Also comets, and there's other planets that's placed in there, asteroids and such. That's something for nowadays, but with the ancient texts that we've had, they've only used the sun, the moon, stars, particular stars, and of course the planets. Right? So when you crown, you're at this east mark, and then all of these 12 pieces of the pie, which are all 10 degrees, each angle is going to be 9, or actually, I apologize, it starts with actually 30, all right? So the first 10 degrees, we'll get into that another time, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Right? I want this to be as fun as possible, so I don't want to make it too heavy. Right? Too much knowledge will make it feel heavy. But in essence, just think of this as a 30-degree angle, 60 and 90 out of a 360-degree circle. Okay, so the head crowns, and then the snapshot, that's a snapshot when you were born. All this is filled up with all of the signs and symbols, what's also called divine astrological signs and symbols and seals. Okay, and also some people might say the Veve as well. I know that within a lot of our ancient magical systems, we might use Veve, which is also symbol, seal as well. All right, so it starts here east, and when the sun rises, you come into the first house. These are all considered to be houses. I know people talk a lot about the chakra, and that's okay. I love that particular philosophy. We're in different regions of the world, so we all have different ways to look at magie, what we call magic, miracles in some beliefs, but we call it magie. Okay? And this is the magi. You hear about the magi, and they had the nativity of the one known as Yeshua, right? So here we have this first house moves up above the easterly sky and the sun, with the sun. When you are born, when you crown. Okay, it's called crowning. The top of the head is a hole there, and we say the soul comes in through that. Okay, the snapshot, and then the soul comes down into the body. And this is a belief system. Not everybody believes like that, but I like it. It works for me. So here we have the first symbol, once again, the Ari, which was associated with the head. It comes up, and I made this yellow because what? The sun, y'all. Come on. I like to have a little order in the things I do. And again, I know this can be digitized, but I chose to do it in the analog fashion. And while we're talking about analog, this also looks like a clock, folk, don't it? A clock, a round clock. It can be other clocks, can be other shapes. Matter of fact, I have a triangular shaped clock watch I love. But we're going to just go with the old-fashioned circle of life clock. Now, growing up, and I'm going to have to get with y'all on this. Put it like this so you can see it. Don't put it like this. Now, growing up, when I learned to tell time, especially as a child of a spiritist, of course, they're going to tell me this way, but we learned by the quarters of time. So we'll think about this as this is the 9 o'clock, of course, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we go clockwise. That's how the houses rise, is clockwise. It means it's going this direction. The symbols actually go counterclockwise. No, wait, let me get this right, y'all. Hold on, I got this backwards. So I'm gonna have to do this again. Oh, strike that, reverse. We learned to tell the time this way, clockwise. And it's going from the 12 o'clock is here in the south. Let me tell this way, okay? As I'm looking at this, it's really trying to change my thinking around. But yeah, the 12 o'clock is here. And we learned that from noon to 3 is, this will be a quarter past the hour. A quarter. So the first quarter. And I don't want to make this too heavy, y'all, but I want y'all to kind of stay with me because we're going to get into this another time. All right. So when we learn how to tell time, we used the circle, of course, as in a circle of life and as a divine astrological circle. When I was growing up, of course, being under spiritists, we learned about 12 o'clock noon to 3 o'clock. So 12, 1, 2, 3. This is the first quarter of the hour. So we'll say it's a quarter past the hour when it gets to 3. Now, I don't know how many of the Gen 10s are out there who know this too, right? So it's a quarter past the hour when you get to 3. When you go from 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 o'clock is a half past the hour, right? Then we get from 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 o'clock is a quarter till the hour. So little did we know, or many people know, that you were learning quarters based on the quarters of a divine astrological circle, as we call the circle of life, and as a natal chart is always used. All right. So 12 o'clock, noon, it can also be midnight. That's another lesson, y'all. That's a higher learning type of thing, but let's just stay with the basics. 12, noon, 1, 2, 3, 3 o'clock. That's a quarter past the hour. 3, 4, 5, 6, half past the hour. So this is half, right? Which is also 180 degrees within the 360 degree circle. And then, of course, 6, 7, 8, 9, a quarter till, which will be the full hour is here back at the noon or 12 or midnight. Either way. Okay, y'all get it? All right. So that's a part of it. Again, we're doing this analog style because I want to make sure that, we're doing it according to what I learned as. And then we'll get more into digitization. We're working on doing some digital stuff. But right now, I like the old school. Y'all, we like the old school. So let me get my glasses on because I'm going to share a little bit more about the astrological seals and symbols. How are we for time? Okay, I got about 20 more minutes. I want this to be an hour. I don't want to do an overload on folk. I want people to be able to learn, but not go too deep into it until we're able to kind of get to a next level where people are able to then kind of chime in a little more. We want to do this one in a workshop as well, so people can really get a chance to, work with the symbols themselves, hands-on. I like hands-on, especially when you're learning things like this. I'm a visual learner, and I'm also a kinesthetic learner. I have to use my hands, and I have to really touch things. So that's how I teach. So I want to make sure that people are able to touch it and be able to go and download their Scry navigation wheel, and then they can touch on it and then talk about it from that perspective, okay? Give me just a second, y'all, because I can't believe, I think I must have been touching on my glasses. My glasses are like so filthy. Hope everyone's doing well. Is it making sense what I'm talking about? What I'm sharing? Anybody out there with me? I don't want to lose anybody. I just want y'all to be able to chart the course, y'all. I want y'all to be able to chart the course and be able to get your divine astrology on. Y'all hear me? Y'all feel me? Get your divine astrology on. There's nothing wrong with that. Any questions about it? What we went over? Put your questions in the comments. And then we can answer that another time. We're getting ready to go over the placement of the stations, which are considered the houses. We use houses in our systems of magie, which magie just means magic for us. Our particular tribe, clan, nation. That's how we say it. But we use houses as when we talk about the spiritual essence of self. So again, I mentioned that the astrology and astronomy, pretty much one and the same, but astronomy has to do with the physical placement of the planets, the sun, the moon, the stars of the constellation, the physical placement. And the astrology is more so the spiritual essence. It's more so connected to the soul's journey through life. That's what astrology is. So we're talking about either the physical placement is natural, and the spiritual placement of the soul, when it comes to the symbolism within astrology, that's considered to be supernatural, right? So those are the two differences. Welcome, welcome. Put your questions in the chat, as well as go ahead and give us a comment. We're going over divine astrological astrology, okay? It's on a Friday. And I know that Friday people are out doing their thing. I get it. You have an old head like me who would sit and share astrology, but I want this just to be available moving forward. I want to make sure that you can go back and see various different times when I tap into this information for you, and then be able to use it as a guide. All right, so I got my glasses on, y'all. Ooh, so much better. Oh, I see. All right, so I have some little my own cheat sheets. You know, Mama gets up there, she needs to get a little extra help. We were talking about the portal. Oh, I see something here that's noted. The spiral. Oh, we can't forget the spiral. I was talking about the crowning of the head when a baby is born, and then also the spiral. You even see sometimes the spiral. Also, like when we think about a tornado, even we get back into the Wizard of Oz. I kind of talked about that a little bit, or the Wiz. Culturally, we have the Wiz. But when we talk about that, there's more of a spiral with it. And that's why one of the reasons I can't make stuff like this up. I just happen to find this, y'all. And I realized it looks like a portal. It was nothing. It wasn't even another one like this. So I just was able to pick it up. And this is perfect for I Scry with my little eye. And this is where I keep my astrology tools in and cheat sheets for myself. Okay. Much of this stuff depends on the mood I'm in. I can recite it like that, but it's late on a Friday, y'all. I gotta come back on to the middle on it. At this moment, in the lateness of the day, that's why I like to do a lot of stuff in the early rising. But in the lateness of the day, I'm trying to give y'all information on. Let's see, I need my scepter. Give y'all a little bit more information on the spiraling within the actual circle of life, the Scry navigation wheel, the spiral. A lot of our babies are born sometimes with a little spiral in their hairline, in their scalp. And this is definitely our belief. We believe that this particular place in the baby's head when we're born, the little soft spot they call it, also called the fontanelle if you want to go into the scientific word where you see it's referenced. The fontanelle, the soft spot, the fontanelle, we believe is where the soul comes into the body. The soul is what is a barometer for the essence of self. It gives you your meaning, your feeling, your knowledge as well. It's tied into knowledge, courage, the heart and feelings, and the soul connection. Y'all, that's the 4 directionals: north, south, east, and west. Right? There's also other aspects of the 4 directionals when it comes to the essence of soul. The essence of soul, and I believe, is connected to the mind, knowledge, the brain. Is connected to the courage and strength. Right? It's also connected to the heart and feelings. Right? Whatever the feeling, having courage, and then of course the essence of soul itself. And we believe it is a spiral. The spiral connection. And that's how we see it in the vortex. The vortices, if you're saying more than one. The vortices of the body and the houses of the body as well. We see houses. Some people say chakras. We say houses within our traditions. Who's in the house? Whose house? That's something that's cultural. It's been there for a long time. A lot of people say stuff and believe in a certain way and don't even know where it came from. That's one of the things that comes from the spiritual connection and beliefs that we have within our culture and within different cultures. But specifically, I know that we really follow that in our culture. So we got to think about the spiral here as well. It's not just the circle that's happening. It's the spirals of life and the cycles of life. And they make different sacred geometry as well. Okay? So these are all tied into that. I kind of keep showing this because I want y'all to know what we're using this for. Okay, so got a few more minutes here. One more thing I want to share. Well, actually, there's a couple of things here. Look, I want to go over the symbols themselves, but give me a sec here. I want to see if we're going to get into planets tonight. We don't have enough time. No, I won't do planets tonight, but I will let y'all know that that's coming up. The planets and the placement of the moon. Okay. Give me a second here. I want to get into Do I want to do the seasons tonight? What do I want to share exactly? Give me a moment. I got it was I figured this would be a whole hour, but it seemed like I went a little faster. I had no questions, so I'm going a little faster than the norm. Oh, I want to show y'all what this will look like once you download it. I actually, now when you download this, I have this put on a special paper as well. This is my template, and I print other ones from it. You can do that. You can also, of course, it comes, you're going to download it. You can actually use it in order to put the digitized symbols in it, which the workshop will have that. We're starting off with our, just the, hands-on. But just to let y'all know that you're able to download these once you copy them as well and print them out if you choose to do that. So when you go on, like I use this when I go on nice trips and I'm looking up at the sky and I have my little clipboard with me, and I like to have my I'll put it on my clipboard. I don't necessarily want to use this because it's my template. I can always print this again, but then I just put it on the clipboard, y'all, and I just go ahead and stick in all of my symbols as well, kind of like the way I did these symbols. I have my astrology, divine astrology, that's placed on my private one, my own birth chart. So yeah, I'll bring along my labels. Like I'll know what, I like to actually place these underneath the sky sometimes as I scry with my little eye. These are the little labels that you see here. You can just get these on Amazon. Okay, the labels you see that I drew in. And you don't have to be the best artist as long as you know what it is. Once you start doing this for yourself, let me show y'all the placement. Okay. Here we go. I start to explain the stations. Let me just go over that for you. Okay, so the stations are here. And we talked about the houses, right? Let me make sure I can turn this around so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so we talked about the stations. Where's my pointer? We talked about the stations, right? And that if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're going to face south this way. Let me place it the way you would actually be. You're going to face south. You see how south is right there? Picture me facing south. Okay, so that's south. You're just standing on the ground. You're facing south. Standing in your wherever. Say in your home, wherever you're at. You could be standing in the library, standing anywhere and face south. Figure out where south is. If you have to have a nice little compass with you, get that. Who knows? You might even know where it is. Then you want to know where the sun is rising. Where's the sun rising when you're facing south? It's going to be on your left. Okay, if you take your hands and stick them straight out to the sides, then you're going to know that there's the square. You raise them just a bit up. That's the circle that is represented. Okay. So that's the south. There's the east. Your left hand is out. Then the stations never move. They're called stations because they're stationary. This will be, believe it or not, it doesn't start above the east here. It doesn't start above it. The first house starts right below east. Okay, the directional east. Okay, so it starts, that's the first house. They don't move, they stay stationary, but the zodiacal signs move through them. We count these, and they're in a counterclockwise fashion here. Stations. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We come back to 12 right here. This is 12. Okay, and this is 1. So we're splitting east up here. Okay, so you see it? This is the first house just below. The 12th house is just above the east. They stay stationary. The only thing that moves through these, of course, would be the signs and comets and planets. So they all move through here. But the houses themselves, there are 12. We only know about love and money, y'all. That's how society got it right now. But we've only learned thus far many of us. And I'm talking to the newbies because a lot of our seasoned folk who know about astrology already, you already know this. But a lot of people are moving into this knowledge, right? A lot of people are moving into this knowledge. So we're trying to catch you up. So if you already know this, you're like, oh, Maven, I already know. What is she talking about? Already know. Babe, we talking to the babe. It's a refresher for some, and I appreciate you. But we're talking to those who are just coming into this. There are a lot of people who are just coming into this knowledge. And let them have their time. Let them have their chance to learn this. This is not just for us who already know. Ashe. I'm doing a little swipe through this. I feel the need to cleanse my space and my cinnamon broom. Okay. And cleanse my space. All right. All right. We got some spiritual work to do. I got a work to do. All right. Here we go. Stationaries. This houses stay stationary. That's what they call the stations of life. Okay, they stay stationary. Those don't move. They just stay right there. And then the signs, the planets, the sun, the moon, the comets, stars of the constellation, they move through the stations of life. And it's more than just love and money. We'll get into what they each mean soon. I just want to clear that up because I was explaining the analog clock and then I kind of like said it backwards, I believe. But either way, I just want to make sure I was just zeroing in on one thing at a time. That was the next thing. I wasn't supposed to start talking about that. But either way, we're winding it up. We have our hour in. And I gotta cleanse this. Cleanse this space. We believe in that, y'all. I like this little room. Room's about cleansing. It's always been that. Clearing spaces. Because it's earth. Represents earth. Sometimes we use fire, spiritual smoke. Sometimes we use water, of course. We do libations. I didn't do libations. Use air. Okay, as well. No, right. This was good for a Friday, y'all. I appreciate everyone who's came through. Thank you so much. I do know that this is going to have to take some time to catch up with everybody. And I appreciate the ones who are willing to share what they feel that they know and what they don't know. As you come into this, there's a great shift going on. I'm extremely happy about the shift myself. I'm happy to be one of the ones to help usher people in. Get in here. Get in here, y'all. This is our own spiritual science. It is. It's a science, whether they say it's not a science or not. It went under new management as time went on. But we've been practicing and sharing this for decades, centuries, thousands of years. So, be that as it may, whatever people tell you, don't let them tell you that this particular science is not helpful. Because it is something that is helpful, because people didn't really get it. They just took out the love and money. Ooh, love and money. They took out just 2 of the houses out of 12. And then we ain't going to talk about the whole the wheel itself, the navigation, Scry navigational wheel, or the wheel of fortune. We got to get into that another time, y'all. The wheel of fortune. We're not even going to talk about that right now. But this is a whole wheel. This whole thing means something. It's a gateway. It's a portal. It represents the portal of life as well. The crowning of the baby's head and how it comes through the gateway and then it rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay, and then you start the cycle over again, the circle of life. All right, so it's more than a catchy tune in a cartoon animation and motion picture. All right, so we have the Aries, of course, that comes up, and I had that yellow, and I show that again, the Aries symbol. And then, of course, we have the Gemini. And I put stars on the back of all of them because it really represents stars. Star just means it's astrology and astronomy. Okay, that's number 2. All right, number 2 symbol. Then we get into the Taurus. Okay. I'm just like going to put that there. We're going to learn this next time. Y'all want to go through it. Okay, so we get into the Taurus. Right. And then, of course, we get into Leo as well. We get into Leo. Then we get into, well, we should have had Cancer first. I kind of mixed these up, y'all, be honest with you. The Cancer is here. Cancerium. I mixed them up. Leo is over here. Then we had Scorpio. We're going to get into the symbols next time. And we're going to show the placement. I like that they're mixed up. So we can do a little scramble here. Of course, Libra. Then we got the balance, y'all. And of course, like I said, all of these have the stars on the back. This is what we use for this season. It's not just by one day, y'all, their star. Right? Then we have our Virgo. Mixed up again. That should have been over there. I was playing with these. Y'all had fun with them. Gemini was way over here. I Gemini. I think there wasn't Gemini that I even had. Oh, Aquarius. That's the age we're in. Looking at them upside down. Another star. And we have the Pisces, right? Pisces is the 12th house. That's the feet. Oh, yeah, we're going to get deeper into this, y'all. Capricorn is the knees, the kneecap. So the whole body is represented within these symbols, as well as the planets. We got to get in that another day. And, of course, we have the Sagittarius. All right, so they're out of order. I forgot I took them out and did another presentation, y'all. But either way, we're going to get back into it. So I guess y'all homework, of course, always got to leave you with homework, is to go ahead and get your copy of the Scry navigation wheel and place your symbols. If you know your natal chart, go ahead and use it with your Scry navigation wheel. Did I have it upside down? Yes, I did. But yeah, go ahead and use it with your natal chart and keep it secret, y'all. We're getting into some stuff that's private for ourselves. Keep it secret. Keep it secret. It's for you, right? So, needless to say, we are out of here. Thank you so much. All the best to you in progress. Look for the workshop. Go on our site as well. Go ahead and download your Scry navigational wheel. And then also the Rose Cross Matrix gets more into the symbolism and this knowledge. There's 4 different levels of it, level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll have there's a section of it, a part of the series where you're dealing with your head, the brain, and the reset of that. This is actually ancestral magie, right? That I'm sharing with you, from my family to yours, and the lineage. And many of y'all, and there's circles with this too. There's other people of the community that's a part of this knowledge as well. So we have the head, the brain, making sure we're getting that nice and reset, as well as the courage, to give the strength to move forward, and then the heart, the feelings, and then the overall divine soul connection. This is what this is all about. It's an ancient knowledge of magie that goes way back, y'all. So we're going to finally break it down, and that's in the Rose Cross Matrix Sacred Soul Revival Series. Ghost Spell 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're moving through, we're going to beat, defeat, repair, and restore the soul, okay? So go out there, have a look, download, and y'all look for the next live. It will be on the site, and then the next workshop. We're going to get into the workshop as well. So all the best to you in progress. We're going to go ahead. We're already able to sweep it out. I want to go ahead and do a little bit more sweeping, because this was our very first really strong connection with essence. We're going to go into our hall of mirrors, believing and receiving. All the best to you in progress. Ashe, love you.